OMG! My name is Nathaniel, and I'm here to tell you this really scary story that really happened to me. And it was real and freaky and made me sad, and I couldn't sleep for weeks. All of that was in caps locks, by the way. One sinister night, as I was sinisterly browsing the sinister internet without a particular purpose, as seems popular these sinister days, when I found a sinister-looking site. Clicking on the sinister site brought up a sinister black screen with some sinister text. Do not click me. I looked at it for 4.5 seconds, but then thought, fuck that shit. Click that motherfucker anyway. Oh, I'm sorry, fuddamucka anyway. My computer faltered for a few moments as the site loaded. Suddenly I was presented with a horrifying video of a fat man repeatedly stabbing himself with a carrot, and it was all hyper-realistic and shit. Deep symbolism. Well, needless to say, I was done with that, so I clicked the back button for bring me back to the sinister site. But it was gone! It was now replaced with a large, colorful banner for a place from my childhood. Camp Cinammon. Let me explain. Camp Cinammon is a children's adventure camp located deep in a creepy forest. I went there several times when I was younger. Once when I was 5, again when I was 6, again when I was 7.5, and lastly when I was 10. After that, it got burned down by some psycho serial killer who murdered 2,000 children and for some reason closed. The advert elated me. I was so pleased that I had decided to open again. I attempted to click the link, but instead my computer crackled and I was met with the blue screen of death. I paused for a moment, taken aback by this. After a few moments, 3 words scrolled across the screen. Can you guess what they were? Okay, it was "You Will Die." Yeah. Yeah. Okay. This took a moment to sink in. Then I grabbed my computer and screaming, "I do not need your shit!" launched it from my bedroom window, like 8 floors up, and watched with a sense of distinguished satisfaction as its innards spilled out onto the street below. Using my phone, I then emailed the email address on the banner, cinammon.face@aol.com, and I thought, who the hell uses AOL anymore? But then I shrugged and sent the email. A few moments later, I got the replay. Come and play with me, D.N. Which was weird because I never told them my name, which was evidently D.N. Then I read the final part of the message. Look behind you. So I did, and out the window. Slenderman, I don't know, I only have a vague idea what that is, stood swishing his tentacles and looking like he wanted some cheeky fun. I told him to fuck off because he's not in this story, and then threw my phone on the couch in anger. Why? Grabbing my phone, I quickly rang my girlfriend, Amu the Switzerabian Immortal. What the fuck am I reading? She too had visited Camp Cinammon as a kid, and I thought we could relive childhood nostalgia in some other way than a video game. We tried that, but it told us we would die, so we put it in the kettle. What the fuck? Also, this is the weirdest fucking thing I've ever read in my life. We also invited our friends, Gemma, Erica, Regina, Sydney, Elizabeth, Bumps, who I simply refer to as Bumps, and the pretty anime boy whose hair swishes dramatically in the wind, and he thinks he looks all sexy, but actually he just looks silly. The fuck? Anyway, so us 4 raised the money for a camper van by pulling off a high street robbery spree, and then we set out for Camp Cinammon. I could still remember the way even after all these years thanks to my near photographic memory. We pulled up a few hours later. The sun had sunk from the sky, and the sky was a curious mix of fading scarlet and dusky blue. The cold bit all our cheeks as we jumped from the van and looked at the place we all remembered so fondly. Oddly enough, there was nobody around, maybe because thousands of people were fucking murdered here. That should probably have been our first indicator that something was wrong. But we just traveled all the way here, so we thought we may as well check it out. There was intense silence. Camp Cinammon! Bumps exclaimed, making us all jump. This place looks kind of deserted, anime boy swished his hair. Maybe we should leave. but Bumps was already staggering toward the camp, repeating Irma Gerd again and again under her breath. We opened the door to the reception area. Everywhere was bodies. They were all mangled and shit, and there was blood everywhere. Blood on the walls, blood on the floor, blood on the windows, blood on the ceiling, blood on the doors. So we said, "Oh," Bob Saget, and went to a different room. This room had a load of beds in it. Amu was tired, so we decided we should probably go to sleep and work out where everyone was and where the corpses came from tomorrow. It's a good idea. We didn't notice the huge satanic symbol carved on the ceiling above our heads as we drifted off into sleep's embrace. It must have been about midnight when Bumps got up. Her eyes flickered open. "Oh my God, Ernest Witter!" she exclaimed. To realize she didn't know where to get any. Werder? Desperately fumbling around in the dark, she decided to check the room with the bodies in it. When she got there, she saw a figure standing over the bodies, grunting softly. "Ernest Burr, what are you doing here?" she shouted for no particular reason. The figure gave a wet growl as if it was chewing on something. When we heard the scream, it was too late. We ran from the room to find Bumps hanging from the ceiling by her spinal cord. How is that possible? The dark figure in the middle of the room turned to face us. That face will haunt my dreams to this day. He had cinnamon eyes, and a cinnamon nose, and a cinnamon smile. He was, without a doubt, Cinnamon Face. A character we are just introducing now. "I am Cinnamon Face!" he screamed, despite the fact that I already told you that in the last sentence. The writer wrote this. Then he killed Anime Boy with his laser beam eyes. But luckily, Amu found some machine guns and machetes, and we fought him? What the fuck? It was an epic battle, and about 67 bystanders died, despite the fact that there is supposedly nobody at this camp. Eventually, we killed him and ran away. When I got home to my mother, I'm 37 years old, I told her about Camp Cinammon and my experience there. She looked at me slightly puzzled. "Sweetie," she said, "Camp Cinammon was where you used to pretend where you were when you were playing when you were younger." And then I realized a scary fact. I am Cinnamon Face, and I murdered everyone, except Ammo. She was special. And the whole thing was in my head. Also, I am a ghost. Scary. P.S. You're next. I was also a phone. The end.